All right, so I'm just passing around. This is the class plan that we did in the class, kind of. I'm so bad at, oh, you have one? Here, just pass this one down. I'm so bad at sticking to a class plan, so there's things that are on here that didn't happen, but there are things that did happen that are not on here. So we'll kind of go through all of it. I think we'll just wait for Jody. I think she's coming. I don't want this thing so close to me. There we go. And does anyone not have the Mat Pilates one on their phone or on their iPad? They're emailing it? Okay, perfect.
Hi.
The core Lattes, so those ones are just the core Lattes, hit Lattes. The Marcy said the printer broke, so we had them on our phones. So like she emailed them to everybody. So if you didn't get an email, I can send it to you if you haven't already got it. You got it? Okay, perfect. Awesome. And then everybody has the class plan as well? Good? Awesome. Okay. So my name is Sarah. Hello, hello. If you guys don't know me, I am a Mat Pilates instructor with Oxygen, and I've been teaching with Oxygen for like about 3 years, and I started in Sherwood Park, but Pilates is like my jam. Like I've got my 500 hour, I've got my NCP certification, and it's my full-time job. And I was lucky enough to work with Oxygen to create this format so that we were able to bring a space for Pilates instructors to actually have their own kind of niche thing within Oxygen, because everything else was kind of centered around yoga fusion, right? So this is kind of where our time is to shine with our like core of all of our exercises from the original repertoire. So with that being said, everybody has their little handouts, and like I said, I'm not the best at following class plans, so I tried my best, but I definitely threw some stuff in there, but we're gonna talk about all of it. So the first things first, as we're gonna go through this, so if you guys have your O2 Mat Pilates class plan open, let's just take a look at that from the very top. So we're gonna chat about kind of the differences between all of these formats as well, because at this point, like I was saying, we got a whole lot of Lattes going on here, and it's really healthy to differentiate because we wanna make sure that our members know what they're getting when they come to a class. And if everything is too similar, they're just gonna be like, well, I have no idea what I like or what I don't like or that kind of thing. So first things first. All right, I'm trying to find my little, you know when you have like 1,000 Google Docs? Like I have so many tabs. Okay, so what we're gonna talk about is, so why I created the format was just because I wanted a space for everybody, and as we go through the training, we're gonna talk about the full structure of the class plan start to finish. This is one of the formats that does tend to be like a little bit more structured, but that doesn't mean that we can't be creative within the structure, but we just wanna make sure that we're hitting certain points like moving the spine in all directions and things like that, kind of like with the traditional Pilates kind of training. We're gonna talk about like smooth transitions because Pilates should have a flow to it, and that's a little bit of the difference between hit Lattes and core Lattes, or fit Lattes and core Lattes, is that fit Lattes tends to be a little bit more blocky, where we have like hit Pilates, hit Pilates, hit Pilates, whereas core Lattes and O2 Mat Pilates should flow. Like it should be that you're going in and out of each exercises with breaks, of course, but it should have a nice kind of cadence to your class, right? Like less blocks, more kind of flow. We're gonna talk about progressions, which most of us should already know about, where it's like how we build up into something and why we do one thing before another, just kind of so that everyone is on the same page. And then we're gonna talk playlisting as well, like little tips and tricks that I have of like easy ways to make playlists on Spotify, because I feel like some people struggle with playlists because it's a lot of work. Honestly, it's actually like a part of the job we don't really get paid for, and it takes literally forever, but it's a huge part of your class. So first thing, let's talk the differences between all of our classes. So the biggest thing for Mat Pilates is that you can't use the dumbbells. So O2 Mat Pilates format, no dumbbells, nothing, no weights except those little ball weights, okay? Ideally with this format, you're choosing 2 props. So you're either using a ball and weights, or you're using a ring and a band, or kind of some concoction of that. Typically you wouldn't want to use a ball and a ring because you can kind of do similar things with both of them. So we want to think like either a ring or a ball, one or the two, and then either bands or weights. That's not to say you can't use a fit loop too. You could also throw a fit loop in there too if you want to. Obviously just pay attention to the class size if you have a whole bunch of props, that kind of thing. But essentially We want to make sure that we're never using dumbbells and no blocks either, so no yoga blocks, okay? With the core Pilates, you're also not supposed to use weights. I don't know. I know, I was like, sorry. But so what the format says is we're not supposed to use weights. It's more of a fusion style, so you're a little bit more, your yoga is kind of you're formatting from yoga essentially, and you're adding in the fusion components based around a yoga sense. The Fit Pilates props, you have to use weights in Fit Pilates, and you can use the ring or you can use another prop alongside that, but for your HIIT components, it has to be the weights. So like when you're doing those HIIT exercises, you can't use the band. It's not for that. It has to be weights. That's kind of your main differences. The other one, O2 Mat Pilates, no standing. So everything is in those first 2 vertical levels from the lowest point up. It's all fully designed to be low impact and closer to the ground, because we want this also to be one of our more accessible classes, okay? So core Pilates, you can stand, you can do a standing series, a balance series. HIIT Pilates, you're encouraged to stand, but O2 Mat Pilates, we want to stay 2 vertical levels. So high kneeling is the highest that you can come, okay? Any questions about that? No? Makes sense? Perfect. Okay. All right, so for when we go to the very top, if we look up onto now our little sheet. So when we're talking about our warm-up, so one of the other things that we really want to work to differentiate to the O2 Mat Pilates is like the Pilates breath. Like that is so key in what differentiates us from yoga, right? Like Pilates breath is like so important. It's like our active form of breathing. It's what activates the powerhouse. So your first couple minutes of your class like should be focusing in on like setting up that Pilates breath essentially for your clients. So that's very much different than our core Pilates kind of structure. Pelvic rocking is another big part of Pilates. So we want that also to be included in your warm-up, starting to move from neutral to imprinted spine. That type of thing where we're able to start to kind of use those words to, advance our class, because those are words that are going to come up throughout the class. So we want to kind of preface that in the beginning so that when we go and then now it's time to pelvic tilt, because we're imprinting, everyone already knows what that means, okay? So that should always be included in your warm-up. And then we have the typical things where we want to do flexion, extension, that kind of thing, move the spine in all directions within your warm-up, which is just kind of the oxygen standard. So we did the windshield wiper knees. I think I forgot to do the knees to chest, but that would be your forward flexion, that type of thing. Okay, now if you go into the format sheet, so when you go online and you look and you see like format sheet, and you can go in and you know how it lets you fill them in, and then it has like all those crazy things like flying dolphin plank that we were like looking at before. So when you look at that, what you'll see is that the foundation of this is the 32 exercises from the original Pilates repertoire. So what we did today, with a little bit of a twist, we did like single leg circles, but we had our foot on the ring, right? So we're taking inspiration from the repertoire. It doesn't need to be just that repertoire. Like we did do classically, we did that side kick kneeling, right? Where we're on the side, that one was fully classical, but we also did kind of a little play on crisscross too, where that's also classical series of 5, right? So you're taking inspiration from those things, and we want majority of the class to be based around those 32 exercises with a twist. It doesn't mean that they have to be done exactly that way, but we still want it to be not a HIIT class. Do you know what I mean? Like we don't want to just do donkey kicks the whole time and call it Pilates, right? So that's where we kind of pull the inspiration from, but then with that we have so many props and things that we can use to kind of spice it up a little bit, which is what we're going to get into today as well. So when in the manual, there is a thing that says like reference, or it says to recreate reformer exercises, or to, I can't remember what the exact wording is. It says replicate. It says to replicate the reformer in there. And what that is like, is meaning or talking about is these blue bands, okay? So these blue bands would act similarly to when there's certain things that you can't do on the mat. The reformer was created because people couldn't do the mat work without assistance. So these, yes, they're resistance bands, but they're also assistance bands, right? So like, for example, if you're doing something like a roll-up, this now becomes an assisted roll-up, right? Oops, where we can like now come up and down, and we're able to kind of play with the amount of tension that we have so people can get up better, right? So yeah, you can do lots of fun stuff with it, but it's also there as sometimes an assistance tool. Same thing where if you did sideline. Your arm is helping you to keep your leg up, right? Like it's not as much about the push out as it is about the actual like amount of support, because this becomes easier for the leg, right? So that's what that kind of means when it says to replicate the reformer, is to provide things like this that can also be assistance or resistance for your class. Okay, does that make sense? Good? Okay. Because I know that one was kind of like a weird, like, a lot of people asked about what that was, and I was like, okay, we're gonna find a way to explain this. Okay. As we
Is that
go,
where it says modified reformer
yes,
exercises?
modified reformer exercises. Yeah. So like, if you know that you have a client in your class that like really struggles to like keep their leg up or do those roll-ups, maybe you just give that person a band. You know what I mean? Like maybe you know that that client comes every single time and they're like really working on their roll-up, but they just like can't get it, and you really want to do a whole roll-up series. Maybe you go over to them and you say, hey, we've got this roll-up thing going on today. Like this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna take this band, right? Like, you know, we can personalize things too for people that really need it. All right. So when we are, all right, so with Pilates compared to some of the other formats that we have at Oxygen, like Oxygen does tend to somewhat be like on the beat of the music, right? Like when we are doing certain things, but there's kind of a half beat to a music where it's like, if the tempo is 120, there's also the 60, which is the half beat, right? So like if you're going like this, like if you're teaching spin is the only thing I can think of, you're either at 120 where it's so fast, or you're going drop, 2 count, 2 count. Pilates tends to be on the 2 count if we are counting to music, because we don't want to be doing this. Do you know what I mean? So what we can do instead is still we can tap and lift to the beat of the music, but we're able to do it to that slower half beat so that we're able to keep the control, which we don't ever want to do it to the full beat of the music. Like we don't want to be, like, you know, when you guys were doing those like leg kicks, like those donkey kicks, like that's like great, but that's hit, right? You know what I mean? So when we were doing, when you guys, I was watching in the room, I was like, this is such a good example of this. Do you know what I mean? Because we can do the same exercise in Pilates, but we just want to do it slow so that we can keep our alignment, right? So think about, yes, you can move to a tempo, but also just keep in mind that you want to make sure that that tempo is the slower tempo of the 2 tempos that you can pick. All right. So the body of the class. Any questions so far? We're good? Awesome. So the body of the class, like I said, we're focusing on exhale on the effort. So Pilates breath typically is centered around exhale on the effort. If you have a Pilates certification, you know this. If you're teaching Pilates, it's kind of a good thing to know sometimes. So like if you're extending your leg outwards, we want to exhale as we push out, inhale as we come in. If you're inhaling into a push-up, you want to exhale as you press out of it against gravity, okay? So when you're cueing breathing in Pilates, that's kind of your really good rule of thumb, okay? All right. So there are exercises from the repertoire that we do not want to include in the O2 Mat Pilates class, and that's anything that's an inversion. So jackknife, rollover, that kind of thing, no inverted exercises. That can put the cervical spine at risk. It's the same thing with yoga when we can't do, was it like snail and those other ones where you're not supposed to go forward. So nothing that's inverted legs overhead exercises in the programming. It's just too risky, and most people don't have the control to do it, and it's just dangerous. Okay. When we, so rollover, jackknife, and boomerang. Those are the 3. No, no, no.
Which is funny because their example gives
I
boomerang.
know.
I was like,
I know.
What?
I know. Me side-eye the camera. Okay. But yeah, so just keep them out of there. Most of the class will just look at you like, WTF is this lady doing? No. I can't even do it. Boomerang, I can't even do it.
They have it's their warm-up exercise.
It's hard. Yeah, no. All right. So when I teach like a class like this too, like I think one of the reasons that I do have a lot of people in my classes is because I really teach in modifications, and I teach in a ladder. And if you've done Pilates training, this is something that's pretty standard across the board, is this concept of teaching in a ladder or a staircase. So like when we first start doing something, like when we had the ring between our toes and we're doing that kind of toe tap, we would never do our double leg stretch before we do our toe tap, right? Because we want to give an option to people that if this doesn't work for you, you can stay here. Like that's what makes Pilates for everybody and so inclusive, is because we program in that sense. And in most of my classes, I say so much and be like, go back to the last thing that felt good for your body. Like if we're 5 miles down a variation and you're looking around like absolutely what the hell is going on, go back to the last thing we did. If it's a chest lift, if it's toe taps, like go back to the thing that where your body felt good and you felt the challenge and stick with that till we switch what we're doing. You know what I mean? So that will help when you're programming as well, because if you start low and slow and you build up, everybody in your room will stay moving longer because they know that they have something to go back to, right? All right. It just ups your engagement.
I have little shakes from Supplement World for everybody. If you want to grab one.
Absolutely.
There's a couple different flavors, and then the strawberry ones are gluten-free and dairy-free. I'll
Love.
just set them up here.
Thank you.
And there's
So
straws
sweet.
and everything in there too.
Oh my god, guys, do you guys ever get these milkshakes? I actually get them like all the time. Like, honestly, like I'm a bit psychotic with these milkshakes.
Let's everybody grab a milkshake. We'll take a little milkshake
Yeah,
break.
we're taking a milkshake break. What are they?
Milkshake break.
Full size ones? Oh my gosh.
Right? And then everybody
Here, I
stand with your shakes against the
I think I'm gonna do this. Chips Ahoy. Hello.
Oh, sorry. Jody, I can't wait to see you that and talk on top of your little. I love your.
I'm a shake person.
Yeah. Hey guys.
Okay, do you know if there's any other?
These are so good. Have you had these? Girl, but like my strawberry one. That one?
Okay, grab your shake and then we'll stand against the wall. I love my life. Come on, Rachel. Come on, Rachel. You're shaking your head, but any of you're gonna be like, oh my god, everybody get in the photo. Right? Absolutely. You two bags, go get in there. It's your studio, baby. Oh, sorry, Jody, you gotta get the phone. Oh, the phone. Oh, you have to get in the photo. Yeah, right.
So good.
All right. All right, guys, show your shakes. Okay, and then we'll do Yeah. What?
Her phone too?
I want a video.
That's good.
Just a little video?
A little cheers.
Okay.
Cheers.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
I do be vlogging.
Thanks, Supplement World.
Perfect.
Thank you. Awesome. Perfect. Amazing. Thank you.
Sorry, Jody.
You're like gonna walk away there.
Sarah, I noticed you didn't do the hundreds.
I didn't. Yeah.
Okay.
No. So
Hungry
honestly,
about that.
so I did a lot of teaser, so that was kind of like what I focused around a little bit more today. So another part of this, which is a really good thing to build off, so another part of this is we want to see repetition within this class plan. Like, I encourage repetition in Pilates because that's how people get better, and people will come back because they want to get better. Like, if you're doing, like, I probably teach the series of 5 almost every single class I teach. Didn't teach it today, but probably every single class. And if you don't know what that is, it's like single leg stretch, double leg stretch, single straight leg stretch, and then you've got your double leg lower and crisscross, right? Part of what, like, this class plan as well, because the Pilates repertoire, it is a little bit limited in a way. Like, there is only the 32 exercises. We can get fun with it, but repetition is encouraged. Like, if you have a sequence that you really like, teach that sequence for the entire month to that group of people and, like, let them get good at it. Do you know what I mean? Like, not your entire class plan, but, like, that teaser series with the ring, I've been teaching that since the beginning of the month. You know what I mean? And people are coming up to me being like, oh, I finally got it. Like, I finally was able to hold it at the end. Do you know what I mean? Like, we want people to be able to build, and that's part of Pilates. So I didn't do the 100 today because I'm going to do the 100 next month, because the 100 is my focus for my whole month kind of thing. Is like, we're building up into the 100 series, and we're going to see how far we can kind of go, right?
Can I ask you, what's your opinion of starting your first exercise as the Pilates 100? I've heard that you should always start your class with
You know, honestly, I think it's one of the things where it's really good prep for your exercises. We kind of did, like, in other words, like we didn't do the 100, but we still did the core warm up with the chest lifts. So easily there is somewhere that you could incorporate a small amount of 100, because 100 is good for blood flow. So like really, that would have been a really good layering for my class, would have been at the very end to just start pumping the hands. You can either hold your leg in tabletop or you could have your legs extended, right? So it's definitely something that's great to include. It's a great part of the warm up. Doing the entire 100 in your class might be questionable, but I mean, if you give variation of like, you can keep your legs in tabletop, you could extend your legs long. I love the 100, but yeah, my whole next month focus that I'll do the whole month in every single class that I teach, we're gonna start with 20, then we're gonna go to 30, then we're gonna go to 40, and the end goal is 50, right? Because if you know how to count the 100 too, it's like inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, but even then you can count it in your own head as an instructor, and then if you don't want to say it out loud, and then you can just know, right? But legs extended, legs in tabletop, always give that option, or else people will just blow their back out like by trying to get their legs long. But yeah, not today, I didn't do it, but you can definitely choose kind of what you wanted to do. I think today was more of a teaser focus, you know what I mean? With when it came to the core.
Perfect, thank you.
No problem. But yeah, the 100 is a great exercise. Okay, so now we're gonna go through just the class plan itself really quickly. All right, so, and then we're gonna split into some groups, and then if you guys have questions as we talk through this. So this class plan and the way that it's formatted is important, because this class plan has a format. So this format goes in this order, and you can do whatever you want within that in this order, but we wanna try to keep it somewhat in this order for the flow of the class. So basically, you start with a warm-up, and for my warm-up, we did the knees, we did the Pilates breath, we did the windshield wipers, should have done the hug the knees to chest for the oxygen standard, but forgot that part. Pelvic rocking, and then we started articulated bridges, okay? Then we have a bridge series, because we're already here, and bridging is great to warm up your body, but within that bridge series, you can do whatever you want. Like if you take my classes regularly, like Maggie takes my classes, and it's like we do bridging every time, and my class has a similar structure, but it's always different. Do you know what I mean? But it also helps people to know what they're getting, because they kind of know what they can expect a little bit, right? So we started with bridges, we did the squeezes, we did the whole like bridge up and down, squeeze as we go up and down, that type of thing. We did heel lifts, whatever. Then supine core. So this would be where you could incorporate your 100. So if that's what you want to do for your supine core, no problem. Maybe you want to do toe taps. Maybe you want to do the series of 5. Maybe you want to do 100. Like whatever it is, but you're doing some type of supine core. Maybe you have a prop. Doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do, but something laying down core. Then you're coming forward and you have a plank series. So for us, we did a bird dog with a ring. You could do any type of plank that you want to. You could do just a bird dog, you could get fancy with the bird dog, you could incorporate a prop, you could do a high plank to low plank, you could do literally anything that your heart desires, but we want to incorporate some type of plank. This format with the first 4, that one pretty is like, we want to keep that somewhat kind of standard, right? Like where you're starting that way, you can do anything, and it can also take you as long as you want. But when I made this format, the way that I teach is all of these sections are 5-ish minutes, and 5-ish minutes of 12 sections is 60-minute class, 55 minutes with your warm-up. So it's math to me that makes sense, because I can stay on track with my class. So if you count all of the sections, when you actually look at the format on the computer, when the one that's in the thing, if you count them all up, it equals 55 minutes, right? So by that time, your class should be done, and it helps you to say, okay, if I'm already in my lower body series on my second side, I should be at 35 minutes. Do you know what I mean? And that means that it's just a really good way to make sure that you flow properly and that you're also staying equal on both sides, because that is the number one thing that people will complain about in any class, is if you're not equal on both sides. It's like, because you have to rush because you didn't have time, right? So it's a really good kind of way to structure. That's just what I do, but it works well in terms of not also having to like check the time the whole time, right? So then side lying leg series. This does not need to be a leg series if you do side lying. You could do this, think of this just as you've done your plank and you're flipping to your side. So that could be that you're here and we're doing something like this, right? That could be that we're doing, leg sweeps. That could be that you have a band around and we are using a loop band and you're doing legs that way, okay? But we're flipping onto the side and we're starting a side series. Because there's no standing in this series, ideally you want to have 2 side series. So you start on a low side series, we flip back to center. We have that 4-point kneeling transition where we did our push-ups, or we did, what did we do?
The circles.
Yeah, we did the circles with the knee, and then we did, when we flipped onto our side, we did side lying legs.
We also did side lying in
Yes.
gates pose.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So that's your higher vertical level side line because you want 2 side series. So this is the lower one where we did the sweeping this way, or we did the circles, but then when we flipped forward this way.
And then you took your leg back.
Yes, yeah, we were here and we did these. Yes.
I need to know
So
the
we
name,
were here. Yes. So then we have a transition exercise, which can be, you could do a plank, you could incorporate anything that's like that's forward on. So you could do a roll down series or like a prone, sorry, not a roll down, but you could do a prone. You could have done these when we were here with the ring. You could do like lean backs like this. You could do, if you had the band on, you could literally just do donkey kicks and like focus on legs through center. You know, you could do different version of a plank, like something to transition through center as we go into the opposite side so that you have that flow. So every time that you're facing the mat, you could even incorporate your back body series there if you wanted to, right? So if you flip to center and you want to do your tummy extension series, you could do that too as you roll to the other side. But we want to make sure that every time that you switch directions, that you are doing something purposeful in that direction to keep the flow. Okay? So we have the lower side series that I decided to focus on more of legs. And then when we came through center, we had our, like I said, this one's not 100% accurate because I got a little creative, because sometimes it just comes to me, you know what I mean? But the reason that I put this as well is because, so in this one that you have here in your example, what my original plan was, but we didn't have enough bands. My original plan was for us to do, as we transition through center, because we were gonna use the loop bands instead of the weights. So as we transition to center, we were gonna find this position and we were gonna do toe taps this way, right? And then we were gonna do a bird dog this way. Okay, so that was my original plan, and then we were gonna switch through center, and then this would have been us coming into our arm series as we switch sides, right? So we would do the same thing, right? And then pop this guy back on, foot, other side, kick back, lay down on the side, right? So you can also do it that way, where you build up to something in center and we go back down the other side. But as long as it makes sense that where we're flowing to, with like the river, you know, we gotta make it work. So that was my original plan, was to go side, center with the band, overhead arms, do that whole push back thing, side, center, other side, and flip, right? Now we've done 20 minutes and all we've done is roll around, right? All right, so then after that, usually time for break, you know what I mean? Here, people are dying. So we took a little water break, and then that's when we reposition and we have our legs in front, and we've now switched our prop and we have our ring, okay? Now we're coming into those rollbacks, the core, we did those different versions of teaser, but even when we did that, like we started and our legs were long, we gave the option for a chest lift, we did knees to chest, and every single person was doing something completely different. You know what I mean? That's why we can stay in that for a little bit longer, is because that was like a 5-minute series in itself of just doing like roll-ups. But because there were so many options, you can level up, you can level down, you can do whatever you need to do, right? Okay, once we were on our back, I mostly think of back as just like time to destroy your core, pretty much. Like, let's go, let's shake, you know? So we did our pressing against the ring, squeezing. We did those teasers, which is just a really good way to set people up to find the center of balance with their teaser, because that's the thing people struggle with the most, is that kind of center of gravity as you come up. So it's just a really good teaser prep exercise. And then we did those little squishes of the legs. So typically, maybe 3 different exercises there. Something that's gonna take you about 10 minutes on your back is what I usually kind of budget for on my back. Then when we come up and forward, we had now our high kneeling. So there's so much that you can do in that position. Like, you can incorporate a little ball weight. You can, you know, we did the side kick kneeling, but you also could just do leg circles here. You can also do like toe taps this way. You can also bring knee to elbow. You can make a combo. Do you know what I mean? You can do thread the needle, reach up. Like, there's so much, but think about it as like your mid-level of your vertical levels, where we're now kneeling and we're getting a little more intense. We're heating up, you know what I mean? Like the climax of your class kind of thing. We flipped to center, we did the push-ups, and then we did our other side, and then we finished on our tummy. I like to finish people on their tummy. That sounded really bad, but I like to have people on their stomach because I think it transitions nicely when you're turning the lights off and everything. Do you know what I mean? It's just like people are down, they're kind of ready to give up. Like we're trying to finish off strong, but it's a nice way to end the class, right? That is pretty much it. But if you look at all of that in like a series, of each series being 5 minutes when you plan your class, you'll end up having a 50-minute class if you follow that outline that's printed out for you. Like I said, you can literally do whatever you want in that series. But the reason that I think having 2 side series is a good thing is because we can't stand. You kind of have to find a way where you're not keeping people in a position for too long. Because if you're keeping people on their wrists for too long, or people on their back for too long, or people 4-point kneeling for too long, they're gonna lose interest because their wrists are gonna hurt, their side is gonna hurt, their elbow's gonna hurt, and it's all about moving through things at an appropriate pace that we're able to keep people engaged without overusing something or overdoing it, right? If we bring people back around to their side on the second side, it feels different, even though we could have done it all there on the first side, but it just would have felt like we were there for a really long time, right? Okay, any questions? Make sense?
You do your moves in your series here.
Mm-hmm.
You do about 4 or 5 exercises,
Yeah,
right?
typically.
And then how many pulses do you do?
So I actually count the music the whole time. So I'm like a bit psychotic with that because I taught spin. So the entire time that I teach, I'm counting 8 and 16 counts the entire time. That's why everything lands on a beat. You know what I mean? When we change, it's a pulse. Now we're changing because it's a 16 count. Now we're changing because it's a 32
And
count.
all your music's what, like
And
120
all
beats
of my
per minute,
music
'cause
is-
it is easy to count.
All of my music is 120 to 130 beats per minute. So I'll show you guys. That's going to be the next thing that we talk about too. Is
So 8, you say?
so-
8 to 16.
So yeah, about 16 counts, 16, 32, 16, 32, 16, 32, depending. So if you're doing a hold, that's usually 4 counts. But literally, I try to count the music because most of the songs are always in that 8 to 32 count, and you're gonna end up keeping people more even. Plus, I think people like it when something's like kind of on the beat a little bit. You know what I mean? Where it's like boom, you know, and you're doing your like leg lift. It's kind of fun. It fires you up a little bit. You know what I mean? Get the people going. Yeah, it's satisfying. But yeah, I mean, if you can learn to count music, it will make you such a better instructor. Like honestly, if you can take the time and go on YouTube and watch the videos, and it doesn't take long. Once you get it, you can count music to any single song ever, but it will make you like from a great instructor to like a supreme instructor if you can count the beat of a song, and you can format your classes that way because people like this. It's like a very satisfying kind of thing.
On a beat
Yes,
drop, they're like,
exactly.
yes.
100%. Like I remember when I was becoming a spin instructor and I taught spin for like 6 years. Oh my God, I couldn't get it. I could not figure it out. And then one day it just clicked and I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. It was like a crying moment for me because I was like, I'm not gonna be able to do this. But I did. And honestly, it doesn't take that long once you get it. Like I said, you can count anything unless it's a waltz, and that's a different story. It's a 6. Don't even put any of those songs in your playlist. Okay. So the next thing that we're gonna talk about, does anybody here not use Spotify? Does anybody use Apple Music? Okay, so this is going to pertain more to Spotify because that's what I use. Get with the program, okay? I'm just kidding. Spotify is great. Apple Music is also great, but however, Spotify has a few functions that I really like to show people that make class planning really easy. So when you go, if you have a playlist, so this one will be sent to you guys. This one is called O2 Mat Pilates class, but there's a button on here that says mix. If you push this button, it will show you all of the BPMs to every single song that's on your playlist. So you can tell which songs are the correct BPM. So it shows you this number beside. So if you have an outlier song that you didn't realize it's a song you love and it's 140 BPMs, and now that's
It
gonna
doesn't
be...
always make sense. Like sometimes my cool down song, it'll say the BPM is like 170. I mean, no.
Yeah, but it probably is 170 because the half beat is what you're counting. Because the half beat is only, is it gonna be 80, so that makes it slower.
Which one did you press?
So it's called mix. So you click mix, make sure you unclick.
You can have mix and edit. If you have edit,
need to update it.
if you click mix
Oh,
and
and
edit,
you
you can move the songs up and down.
Okay, if you click this mix icon, make sure that you unclick it or you mix your music because I did this one time and it was like crazy stuff was happening in my class, okay? So this is a really, really, really good tool if you are planning to count your music in class to make sure that you just don't get a random song that's gonna be like, oh my God, it was so good on the one side, now we've moved to the other side and we're at 50 to 100 BPMs and we're moving slow and it just doesn't make sense, right? So I love to use that little icon. The next thing that I'm gonna show you guys that really helps me when I make my playlist, if you have a song that you really like, click on the song, scroll down and go to radio. Hit radio, it will show you all the similar songs to that song. That is all in the same genre. Most of them will probably be similar to that song and similar in BPMs. So if you're class planning and you're like, oh my God, I literally hate music, I don't wanna listen to anything else, I can't handle this, like I'm going crazy, just start clicking through songs you already like and going to radio and just shuffle and add them to your playlist. Like, it's not that deep. Do you know what I mean? Like, just get it done. Because if you really, you could spend hours doing it. I get into like full on like psychosis sometimes where I'm like, I cannot listen to Dom Dalla anymore. But yes. And then obviously when it comes to Oxygen formats in general, your first song, we always want it to be kind of like an instrumental. So like, obviously we want it to be no words, something to guide your class. And it doesn't need to be chill. That doesn't mean it needs to be like calm. Mine usually are, but yours could be a little more upbeat as long as it's something that doesn't have any words and that you're able to talk and set up your class. The things you want to mention about the heat, you want to mention no phones. That is just something that this week has just irked me this week, the phone thing in class. Is anyone else noticing that it's getting absolutely insane? I took a girl's phone actually because she wouldn't stop using it. I did. She wouldn't stop. And the girl beside her was like, you know what I mean? And I was like, hey girl, I'm just gonna take this and then you can get it from me. You know what I mean? But I was like, I don't think she could understand that I was flabbergasted. I was bewildered. But anyway, it's becoming a really big issue. So like if we can just also all just really get better at saying that at the beginning of class, because why are they even in the cubbies? Like I don't understand. Like what
I always say the only phone that should be in the room is mine.
Yeah, it should be. I tell people that the infrared will burn your phone and I have a special phone case.
I just always been telling people if you bring it in, turn it off, because that's what I was taught.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't say that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I know people are worried that somebody's going to take their phone.
Totally. Oh, that's true. Yeah. Totally. But I just find that the amount of phones that are ringing in the cubbies that I've had to actually like go over and be like, whose phone is that? You know what I mean? But it's just crazy. Like I'm like, I don't know. But
you can
yeah.
say the thing about the heat because it's not a lie. When you bring your phone in the hot room, it actually deteriorates the battery life. So.
That makes sense
You're
because
yeah,
I literally in Edgemont it's such a problem. Like sometimes I'm like guys like
That's true though.
Disconnect.
If we all buckle down on that for sure, that helps. If it's not, because I've had people say to me, "Oh, the other person, I got to have it in yoga the other day." I'm like, "Well, this like you got away with it."
I think we're all in agreement though that on your mat is like an absolute no, right?
Yeah.
Like okay, good.
So are we agreeing to?
I think that they can turn them off. Bring them in and turn them off as long as they're off. Because some people like they don't want them to be out there, and that's totally fine. Especially in Windermere because that studio is so small and it's right by the door. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I wouldn't want to leave my stuff like right there either because it's like even if the front desk person's in the bathroom just for a moment and someone could just come in and you know what I mean? Yeah. I think as long as it just like emphasize like turned off. I know Carrie says if your phone goes off, what does she say when she does this? She says something like if your phone goes off, you have to come get it from Mears, like you know what I mean, something like that. But she's just like no phones policy, you know what I mean?
Because think, like, it's a sacred space. Yeah. Just don't bring your phone in here. Just disconnect. Leave it out in your car if you're worried about it. Put it in your car.
It's true. It is true.
There's a sign on the door actually says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
So it's okay in this studio to say no cell phones.
Yeah. I mean, I think all of the studios.
It's on the wall.
Yeah. I think it's just something that I've been noticing at every studio that I teach at lately. Like I've been teaching reformer Pilates and we've been feeding straps and people are texting and on Gmail and I'm like, hey, what's up? And then I had a girl lie to me and she was like, sorry, I was like texting my kid. I was like, I see you have a mirror behind you. I see you're on Gmail. Like, whatever. But anyway, so yeah, basically, so you always want to start with a kind of introduction song, something to get, your spiel out about the phones, the heat. Encouraging people always to stay in the room if they feel a little bit, not give themselves a second, calm down. If you feel like you need to leave, go get a juice box, blah, 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 blah. But try to encourage people just to like take a second, you know what I mean? Lay down on your mat. Try not to, just don't want everyone leaving all the time unless they absolutely have to. And then at the end, you have a cool down song. I usually like to pick a song that kind of guides us into the cool down that's a little bit more chill, but not the full-on piano lullaby thing. Like I like to just pick kind of like a nice transition song, and then I do my kind of two, which could literally put you to sleep. This one, like, oh, so good. Like, put your records on. Like I just wanted to sing it the whole time. But 2 songs at the end, and then something that you can throw on after when everyone is cleaning up. But that's pretty much the classic format. And yeah, honestly, Spotify makes it really, really easy. And if you really feel like you want to be a DJ, you can use that mix function and you can mix your own tracks. Is that what you do, Haley? Yeah, I do it sometimes too. If you have a really,
forever.
yeah, it's hard. I'm getting better at it though.
You're like,
It's hard,
it all in.
but it's fun if you really like to do that.
You can also do things like crop. If you have like a long intro or outro in a song, you can crop it off.
Yes,
you don't
yes.
have to like.
Yep.
You can chop it off. You can slide the bars. Where
Yeah,
the
guys,
music
I'm
is
telling you.
at.
Okay, next workshop, me and Haley will show you guys how to use. We'll show you how to mix. We'll bring the DJ boards. We'll bring the tables in here. No, literally. Okay, so we're gonna split up into groups and we're gonna use the rings and the bands. I'm doing so well at staying on time here. Okay, if you are someone who's just teaching hit lotties and core lotties, you're gonna go in a group with people who are just teaching hit lotties and core lotties. So how many hit lotties, core lotties people that are not gonna teach O2 Mat Pilates? Good. Good. So let's do, for you guys, let's just do a group of 4 and a group of 3. So maybe one in that corner, one in that corner. And you guys are going to focus more in on the ring and also in on...
How many of us are there?
6 and Maggie.
Me.
And, yeah, split up evenly, just two groups on the sides here. We're going to use the ring mostly for you guys and then also the ball. Okay? It's because you guys, these aren't really, like, you can use them, but I feel like it's not necessary. Well, you like it actually, Rachel. So
I
yeah.
love the third
Okay,
band.
then we'll do...
I don't use the third band for Pilates though. I use
Yeah.
it for fitness, and just have to caution, not all the studios have them, and
Yeah.
not all the studios have enough.
True.
So like if you teach at Windermere or Edgemont, you have 16 bands. If you have a class, sometimes if you plan a class, and you're like, oh, I have 12 people, 8 show up. You're like, well.
Yeah. Well, we'll just all use the rings and the bands today. Okay, so half of you guys in that corner, half of you guys in that corner, and then everyone else, we're gonna split up, same thing. We're gonna go half and half. I'm gonna pass out these little bands, and we're just gonna grab at least 2 rings, and you're just gonna make within your group one, like it can be a core variation, a leg variation, whatever you want, one with the ring and one with the band. So this side of the room we'll start with the band, this side of the room we'll start with the ring, we'll share, and then we'll switch, okay? So you guys start with, did I say ring or band? I did band for you guys here.
Okay. So you can do whatever type of variation that you want. Make it Pilates inspired.
Ria's coming over here.
Yeah. And then we're on.
Where's the fit?
Yeah, fit lotties, core
Yes,
lotties.
fit Pilates, core Pilates.
Okay.
And then,
All right.
you would be traditional O2 Mat Pilates if you want to.
Yes.
Then
Here, I'll give you this.
I find it as the actual, it's just the place.
Okay, so you guys can come on this side.
What would you rather teach if you want O2?
Yeah, I'll do that. So what you guys are going to start, yeah, we're going to do is make the rings first. Okay. Just create some Pilates inspired, like core series for you. Okay, sweet. So something to do with core and then something to do maybe with not core. Okay, so 2 series 1.
Okay, I think we're all. Oh wait.
Okay.
Is it one fit Pilates, one core Pilates?
No, you guys are all both. Yeah, you guys all both. So you guys can start trying out words. We're going to use the ring first. So you guys one core series using the band, and then one thing that's not core using the band. Okay, so Pilates inspired, both groups using band, this group is using the ring. So just something that Pilates inspired using that prop. Something that's one thing that's core, so core series, and then another thing that's a little not core. So there's a leg, something, use arms.
Can you do in core Pilates? Can we do like?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
You know, like.
Go get it started.
On the knee.
Okay.
I think we're supposed to be in 2.
Yeah, I think there's 2 groups in this group.
Okay. And how many exercises?
So one thing that's core focused and another thing that's not too focused. Okay, so just 2 exercises, one is core.
Yeah, usually we have one person teach it, and then the rest does it, and then we'll switch whoever.
Okay. So 1 core and then 1 not core. Okay.
Nice. Oh, I like it.
Those are hard to like enumerate for me.
Actually, no, I do push-ups. I know. I've done push-ups, yes. I've done push-ups. These are so good.
And then we'll pass this over the right foot over for now. That's awesome. Top of the left leg. And then just bring it back in. And then switch right hand, left hand.
And the other thing you have to watch is the
Slow, press away. Bring it back. And then for the sake of time, let's say we did like 10. On the last one, we'll press it away. Option to lift head and shoulders. And then kind of pulse at that long leg. Okay, we're going to have to roll. Bring it in, the lower down, reset, press away, straight down it, or head and shoulders lift. And top of the thigh, pulse away. Nice, bring it in. Let it go. Okay, and then one knock forward. We're holding the hips together. This will be more like a fitness so we can stand for this.
Yeah, so I'll just repeat. So fit bodies.
You guys are allowed to stand. Yeah, you guys can stand.
You do exercises of height, and then you do core bodies, and then hit core bodies. So you're like bringing the heart rate up, you're getting those muscles hard, fast twitch muscles.
You could. You can stay with taps and then standing. And you will do feet. And then here we start one foot on the ground. And then we're just gonna lift the knee. And then wrap it around. I'm trying to think because I've done this one with the loop band before, right? Yeah. You do it like that. Or like you had it. They had it with the band on both feet, but then you're creating the resistance when you bring the knee up. So what if we did that?
That's really nice.
Like move it around, and then you feel it rise more. Yeah. And then try to fight that resistance when you bring the knee up.
That's okay. You
Yeah.
know what?
So that's even more, right? We feel that?
That's okay. That's just like a math.
Yeah, that's the part, right? Okay, so just a bit further away.
That's like
I'll keep it a bit back. Okay, so step your feet in switch apart. And then we're gonna crisscross the back. Create that resistance there a little bit more. And then let's get some arms in there. So elbows beside the rib. And then the elbows go back. And then really shift your weight into right hip. Press into the forward corner. Shift the weight over. Bend the right knee. Squeeze. Bring it down. And then keep it. The knees. I don't know if the knee thing works.
I really liked this one. Like I could really feel it. So like maybe a shoulder raise and then a bicep
Bring it
curl.
down. In. Shoulder raise. Yeah. Or you can eventually cross it and then do like a cross back. I haven't used this. I did these in the gym.
Like this. You don't even like the balance.
Yeah, like if you
Right? Yeah, like a bend and straight. You know what I mean?
yeah. Oh yeah, that feels good.
And then if you did like what Jody had, where you went like bicep curl. You know what I mean? Like even if you were here or whatever, like stepped it back, and then here you can do like ab rotation, right?
Yeah, that feels better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did these in like my classic training, but I never actually used them.
They're hard. You know, honestly, they're such honestly, guys, they're so good. Like, I love them. It's such a good piece of equipment to help people like this wise. Like, when you're doing like leg lifts and stuff, like this is one of my absolute favorites. Like, you know, when you do like this,
That looks like it feels good. I did this one the other day, but it wasn't really bad. So you're like step kneeling, then you're like,
yeah, I wouldn't say that that's like super Pilates-y though. Do you know what I mean? Like that's giving more fitness, and in fit Pilates you have to use your dumbbells when you do your HIIT, right? So your Pilates stuff has to be. What is it, core Pilates? That's the question we need to ask. What is core Pilates? We don't know. Everything else is defined. Pilates is this open space of like, don't use dumbbells though. I was like, I was using them too. I was
like, really? Are you sure? I was like, reading, and I was like, well, every class I've ever taught. But like, when you're doing like hit Pilates, that's what you guys are doing, right? When you're doing hit Pilates, like I love like if I come down and I'm doing like these, do you know what I mean? Like this is a lower body series, but then it's a nice transition when you're just come here to do this, and then you can and then you can turn this to a bird dog.
Oh my God.
So you're here and you're down on your forearm, right? But you could also do it up here too, right? But so when you push your arm forward, you pull your leg behind you. So there you go. Yeah. The opposition. So push your leg straight out in front as you pull your leg to me. Leg back, arm forward. Good. Nice. Yeah. Elbow right back to the hip, and then you transition. We come forward. You're pressing back and lifting, and then lift your left arm forward and open to the side. Yeah, you can do top opposite side, like whatever transition that way, but that would be a really great, really strong Pilates section between your hips. Yeah.
And then the fit. We're doing like.
So the fitness, yes, yeah. Fitness is the hit, or I'll do like one jump because the hit is it's all sandwiched together. So it's like one with weights and then one without. So like then I'll do like a bicep curl or a press, and then back to like us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a strength.
Yeah,
so
strength.
Heavy strength,
Yes.
and then cardio.
I teach it cardio, heavy strength cardio, but you can also do heavy strength cardio, just as long as this is very sandwiched together. You know, whatever's the same has to stay the same. So the way I teach it in hit Pilates is like, so if my first hit section, okay, I'm doing not climbers. So like my first hit exercise, because I'm already down and I'm in my plank, then I do my roll up, Pilates push up. Do you know what I mean? Like the whole thing, down. Do a couple of those, come up, grab my weights. I always pair it with lunges. So I'm doing hip lunge, bicep curl, overhead press, and then you automatically have to do it twice, right? Bicep curl, overhead press. Then I'm back, Pilates push up, mountain climbers, done. You know what I mean? Like you sandwich it. That's why I do it.
Okay.
Okay, are we ready to share our learnings? Okay. We're gonna start with all of our core exercises. So who wants to start with their core series first? Okay, you got perfect. Okay, so your core with the ring. Come to the middle of the circle.
The first one will be setting the ring in between.
I love this.
And then doing push-up. You can also incorporate the breath as you inhale. As you exhale, going down. Other option, knees down, inhale here.
Love this.
I need some brainstorming. What was the next one?
The leg lift.
Oh yeah, leg lift. Inhale, lifting the leg. Exhale,
Love.
going down. Changing the side, inhale. Exhale, going down.
Awesome. So good. Love that. Great way to assist through a push-up. I love that. Okay. And Rachel, does your group want to go? Your core?
Okay. There's a lot of hair on this band. Band under your right foot, coming down onto the back body. Mine just slipped right off. Find some tension, pull up on it, left hand behind the head. You'll exhale, lift up, find your crunch. Inhale, come back down, reset. That's feeling good, move through it. Next variation, you'll take a knee drive
Nice.
and tap using the resistance band just to find a little bit more edge.
What if you put it on the other foot?
Yeah.
Let's try that. See if that works better.
And still do this.
Lift
this
the other
move.
leg. Like bring your elbow. Like, does that almost work better if you push it out? Like, I just wonder, like with the pulling, like, do you get a lot of tension on it?
Yeah.
Yeah. On this, I think the other side was better.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then from here, you could do full leg extension. And then drive it in for a little bit more. And then you hold, pulse.
Yeah.
Nice
I like that. Those are good. Just think about like if you twist the elbow back, because I've taught that before, but I teach it on that opposite leg because I more focus on the leg extension and work in opposition. So when you extend the leg, pull the elbow back. Do you know what I mean? Like think about it like that. Like extend the leg and then now pull the right elbow back. Yes, and twist. Twist.
No, Faye, as you stretch your left leg, pull your elbow
This,
back.
there you go. Oh, okay. So you get a reverse twist.
But push the leg out and pull at the same time. There you go. And then bend in. And then exhale. Good.
Okay, yeah.
Like I teach,
you feel way more
I
resistance
teach
this way.
that because you get more resistance. Because with the band, a lot of times it's that working in opposition, right? Because if you follow the band with your movement, you're not going to get as much from it because you're not actually pulling it. You're both like if you're changing position of two moving things in space, there's no pulling happening, right? You have to think pull apart, and both body parts have to move away from each other to create resistance, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I like that.
All right, you guys.
What's so funny?
No, we're laughing at us. We're laughing at ours.
Should I just do the one that okay. Yeah. Okay, so for core.
Yeah.
Something similar. We're going to use the bend to the top of the thighs and then bring the legs into a tabletop. And then you're just going to create that resistance there by strong arms pulling the band to the top of the thighs, fire up the core. You can lift head and shoulders or stay grounded, and then strong right foot. You're going to press away like your hover halfway, bring it back, and then just switching legs nice and slow, press away, bring it back. And then that last one, you're going to hold the press and then pulse the long way. Keep pressing in, lift a little higher.
Love that.
Yeah.
So good. And I'll show you guys this one that I like, that we kind of, I showed you a little bit before, but this one is like, you can do so much in this position, like with your roll-ups. Like if you, this is one of my favorite ways, you can do lean back, tap back. You can do arms wide. You can do, find your leg up, pull down. You can do that same hover that we did. You can do, if I can do, over, under. Like there's so much here, and you can all flow through it easily. Like with these roll-ups, you can lay down, you can do bicep curl, you can do rowing. If you know classical Pilates on the reformer. This is like, put it on the band. Like I could do a whole class here on the band. Like it's so good, and it's so easy to transition. And when you're doing side lying, and then you come through center, like it's such a good like way to transition. Yeah. Okay, and then your non-core exercise.
Non-core?
Yeah, so like one that's, did we do that one already, or did you just do core?
Arm one.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Sure. So did you guys make a non-core one yet? No, or we can still, we can give some more time.
Should we just do the one that you did but pull but twist? Or no, wait, that is core, isn't it?
Yeah. We can give it a couple more minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do a couple more minutes. Yes.
You can do so many of them. Another one of my favorites is the sit down. They just all that body you get it behind their ankles, and then overhead. I get them lateral flexion. I get them to start in triceps, and then we go, and then that way you can transition over. Arms overhead is harder, arms side is easier. You're gonna start to move side to side. You can touch it again behind you. Arms longer, harder, side to side. And then I always tell people, if your booty's doing a dance, stay still, so you're really loud outer of your ribs. Yeah. Knees wider is better. Yeah. We always push. I do this like twice a month. Really? Especially amazing arms. Yeah.
And now combo.
You want to know what some of these grades are medium, so hard. They're like so little and they go.
Turn. Oh, I just think take your knees on top of your mat. And underneath your ankles. You always have to say, because someone's going to be like, I got it. No,
Yeah.
Underneath your ankles, flat around your feet. Yeah, arms. Yeah. So like step by step. Yeah. There's always somebody who's like down.
Higher.
Arms behind you. Back under your ankles. That way you come up under your ankles. Otherwise, if you try to do lateral flexion,
You did the same thing.
you're like, I'm doing lateral. You are, but you're not upright. So you get people's arms behind them, and they have to pull that forward. There's another way that you can use.
I was for like a little bit of
I thought
Or if you want to like favorite class, and if you like your class is like 3,
I thought it was just me.
is you know what a lot of like for example on Friday we did 5 minutes, 7 minutes of tricep. It's just like we did I did I did 5 you do it after the band we did actually
Yeah.
and then like
And then you stay in the plank and go out.
yes, that's what I did. It was so good.
I know, those are fun.
And then they got
It's hard.
like it's so fun.
Okay, are we
triceps we did
ready to share?
yeah
You guys ready?
I think so.
Okay, let's do it. You guys can start. We're gonna start with your guys' non-core related exercise, Pilates inspired.
All right. So we are going to. Do we start down on the mat with this one too? No stepping back because of the slipping.
Like when in terms of like which?
With the oxygen training, you're not supposed to step back. So
we talked about that in one of our last workshops. We took a vote and we all agreed that were you there?
oh yeah, that is. It can be at the beginning,
Yeah.
but it can't be.
If you feel safe, we had like a vote about reverse lunges.
Yeah, you can do it at the beginning before everybody gets slippery, right?
I thought we agreed. We all like.
Has anyone ever fallen?
No.
No. Like are you saying I can't step back like this?
But
You
I
have to step
also,
forward.
I also
Yeah,
do
yes.
find
Oh,
I
okay,
have to
that's
put my mat towel down or else it will get slippery.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I feel like let's just go for the sake of it. You have to step forward.
All right, sounds good.
Just for the sake of that. I get what you're saying.
All right, so we are going to place our hands underneath and palms facing up. You can take a little twist around to get more grip. Stepping forward into a lunge, bringing that bottom knee down or that left knee down. 90-degree angle bend in both legs. Inhale up, shoulder raise. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Slight bend in the elbows. Core is tight. Option add a combo. Bicep curl. Down. Shoulder raise. Down. Add a pulse. Hold it high. You're here for 10, 9, 8.
So that one more for core lattes, hit lattes, not O2 mat.
Oh,
Just
really?
Yeah, probably not.
Okay.
You guys know what you're doing.
Okay, great.
You guys are focusing on the stuff that's for your class time, but when this video gets sent out, it'll be sent to all the O2 mat Pilates people. So
Okay.
I just want them to know that's all on the floor. Okay, let's go with you guys. But that's perfect. I would teach that in Pilates classes.
Okay.
And core Pilates, I would teach that.
Okay, sounds good.
So for
great.
this one,
I'm gonna steal that.
we did this one in class. So it's like that pull down, like that wood chop back to center, but we added a tricep. So we go up to the sky, bend, reach, then pull back, and then reach back up the center, down, and twist. Now the next one, we're gonna bring those legs or those arms on the inside and then pull out to the side. Now you can add that lift and drop and add a pulse out, which is a lot of movement, and then that out and back in, really challenging that force. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. That was great.
We did focus on arms. I love the third arm for arms. So many things you can do and build time under tension. So I like to create a little cross with the band. And then great thing too with the band is so customizable. People can make less or more strap as they want to. We'll up pull and then I always add in like extend out and then I usually try to get thumbs into center. And you can do all kinds of stuff, you know, like up and down, in and out, all kinds of arms.
Staying in one place for a little while, build time under tension, and then move the arms out and in, up and down, all over.
Perfect. Okay. So now we are all going to grab one of these blue bands, and when you look at your format, you'll notice that there says, yeah. I don't know why when you talk so much, you're like, is English even English? It says in there that there's an arm series. So a focus point in this low kneeling point where we are just doing arms. I like to think of it as one full song of your choice when you're in your class. So we're gonna all go into a circle and we're gonna go around and we're gonna change the movement every time and we're gonna see how many we can think of for what we can do for our arms with the TheraBand, okay? So make sure that everybody has one. So we'll put a little music on. So essentially, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna say switch. We're gonna go around. What we're hoping to do is we're emulating that series that we did with the weight. So we're gonna be kneeling for the sake of this. Because even in core Pilates, this class I'm largely is based in a sense of how I teach my core Pilates class, and I always include a 5-minute arm burner. Like burn it out in 5 minutes. But even in your Pilates, one of your 5-minute hit sections could be a type of arm thing just like this for 5 minutes and then move your back using it. You could do that, right? Okay, let's put the hands on. Does everyone have a band? Good, okay. Make sure you've got some space on your mat. We'll go with my right. We'll go with this one. Okay, so I'll start. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start down. As we exhale, we're gonna come up, reach up, and then as we go back down, we sit back towards your heels. Exhale, reach up, lower. Keep tension in the band. Good. Rachel, you're up.
Oh, good. We're gonna stay here. Arms back, arms forward. Arms back, arms forward, out of wide fold. Arms back, arms forward, out of wide fold. Passing on to Vera. Flutter, bringing elbows in, and then up.
For this one, Vera, under the knees.
Yes, grab it.
So think under your knees for your platter.
Stand on your knees and bring elbows in and extend out to serve.
Good.
In and out. 4 more. 3. 2. Last one. And then you have on your knees. That's perfect. 2 count.
Don't worry, we can take it back out if we need it. But anything that's coming out from under is good to keep underneath your knees. And then you can also, if you widen, it's a little bit more tension sometimes too. Okay, Maggie. Nice. Yeah. Like you're swimming. Good. Okay, Shannon. Yeah. Good. Okay, switch.
Rolling it back to center of over the head. Sending it to the right.
Yeah.
Coming back to center. Sending it to the right. Coming back to center. Sending it up over the head. Goes back. Lifting up.
Good job.
One side. Coming back to center. The other side. And switching
And
to
switch.
her.
Now roll onto your shoulders and then pull on the side. Now you're gonna bend up, pull to the side, back to center, rotate that rotator.
Yeah. Good job.
And then switch arms to even it out.
Okay, stealing this from Rachel. Back goes underneath the knees.
Look at
Nice
her.
and wide.
Look
Good
at
job.
her.
Arms overhead. As you exhale, bend the elbows. Keep the pointed forward. Good. I'm shaking so bad.
What if we added the hips? So when you go, think hips back, and as you come up, bend your elbows.
Okay, yes.
Good. Switch.
Take this off that sound of the knee and go around. Arms over.
Nice. Yeah. See, there's so much that you can do with this band, and all of this can be applied to lunges. You can can be applied to squats. It can be. Okay, switch. Yeah. Good. Switch.
Single arm underneath the left shin and then right hand. And I'm just gonna squeeze the elbow in and out. In, try to take a little twist. And then just hold it and do a little pulse.
Hell yeah, we can.
A little pulse
Hell yeah.
maybe a little shoulder press. We get a little.
We did on this side, you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, and then
What? You could do a single arm of what Baby did too. Good. And switch.
bringing it out from under the knee, rolling it over on one hand, crossing your arm, tricep extension.
Good.
Crossing the arm over, tricep extension.
Good. And switch, Jody.
Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna work, so it looks different in my head.
That's okay. Now's the time to try. Yeah, 100%.
Does that feel good?
Put it under both knees, because so it's equal. And then cross it, sorry. Cross it. This way.
Okay, yeah, that's much better. There we go.
Like with half kneeling, are you allowed to do it like even like this?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
If you want it
100%.
if you want it like off with the
Yep.
band, I do it standing like this so that you do get that one center point. But if you burn your foot out,
Yeah, you can do this in Mat Pilates, 100%. Just, that's still in your middle vertical level. Yeah.
Or you could do back, right? Yeah, you can do rows, fly.
Yeah. Awesome. Perfect. Good job, guys. Well done. Very good. There's literally so much that you can do with this band. Like it's really like, I think at first it seems like a very limiting piece of equipment, but honestly, I hope that today you guys get a lot of inspiration and you can use these bands in a lot of different ways, and same with the ring, because like this thing can like smoke a class. Like it will, like if used correctly, like you can get people being like, that was the craziest workout I've ever had, because it's also such a personalized piece of equipment where really it's up to you how hard you're gonna grab up onto it. So if you've got really strong people in that class, like they can keep really hard resistance that entire time, and it's great. The last one that I'll show you for the arms that I really like, that really, really burns, is if you push your arms all the way out, because we can add rotation, right? We can add rotation underneath. You can add lateral flexion, right? Moving the spine in all directions, that type of thing, right? Okay, what time is it? Beautiful, 4:30. So we have a draw that we're gonna do, because I think we're pretty much finished up. Does anybody have any questions? Anything burning on your mind? My Spotify, you'll get the playlist sent out to you that we used today. In there, it's just all the songs that we played, and then plus the songs that I used for my kind of cool down songs. So you can click onto those songs and then go to radio, and you'll be able to find songs that are similar to that if you like them. Yeah, so I'll get Marcy to come in here. Wait, we take one more group picture without our milkshakes so we don't need too much sponsorship. Do you know what I mean? And then, yeah, we'll do a draw, and then we'll get everybody on their way. Thank you guys so much for coming in, honestly. I hope that you learned a lot, and I hope that we see these a lot more in class, because they're so good.